Watch, listen, and pay close attention because the following information could save the lives of you and your family. My name is Ollie Fisher, and you're about to discover evidence of a threat so shocking, most people will refuse to believe it. The government's tried to hide it, and the media is just too scared to report it. So I need you to focus, take careful notes on this, and please turn off your cell phone and any other distractions around you because what you're about to watch will mean your survival in the coming crisis. Now I need to make something clear. If you're the kind of person who believes everything you hear on the radio or sees on TV, or if you think that the US government is 100% honest or believe that everything is A-OK in our country, quit wasting your time and click off of this page. Enjoy your trip down I Told You So lane as you're fighting tooth and nail for survival in the coming months. Thousands of people are desperately trying to get their hands on this information, which could disappear at any moment. So please, don't waste your time or mine because nothing will save the lives of you or your family in the next 6 months. And I mean nothing. But if you feel that there's something secretly wrong with our country, if you suspect the facts that our leaders have been hiding from us for years, or if you're someone who believes in the truth and cares about protecting your family, then please keep watching because I'm about to blow the lid off the greatest cover-up of the last 200 years, and it might just save your life. It's called the Federal Reserve, the greatest fraud in U.S. history. Most people think they know what the Federal Reserve is, but do you really? What you're about to discover, only 0.3% of the world knows, and it will change your life forever. First, the Federal Reserve is not owned by your U.S. government. It's a privately owned bank, and it's about as federal as Disneyland, something Washington fat cats have been trying to hide for decades. When our U.S. government is dying for cash and they can't borrow from anyone else, they go to the Federal Reserve. Frightening fact number 1, our government takes monstrous loans every time it prints money. Let's say the government wants $1 billion. The Fed prints them $1 billion in exchange for $1 billion in U.S. Treasury bonds. And these U.S. Treasury bonds, they have to be paid back with interest. Frightening fact number 2, the Federal Reserve has been turning U.S. dollars into monopoly money for decades. Here's how. Let's say our U.S. government wants $10 billion more this time. The Fed prints $10 billion more and gives it to the U.S. government. But wait, where did the Fed get the $10 billion to loan out in the first place? Here's the catch. It didn't. It's based on the previous billion-dollar bonds that they got from our government. You see, the Federal Reserve makes its own rules, and based on hidden documents that I uncovered on corrupt banking practices, the Federal Reserve only needs 1/10 of whatever they lend out. That means the Federal Reserve has been printing fake money for decades. $10 billion, $100 billion, $500 billion, $1 trillion, and it's all as worthless as toilet paper, and it's been spread all around the world. But wait, it gets worse. Washington scammers would have you believe the U.S. debt is only $16 trillion, but according to Lawrence Kotlikoff, who is an economics professor and also served as the chief economist for President Reagan, if you include all of our off-the-record debts like Social Security and Medicare, the real U.S. debt totals $211 trillion. Now, just to put that in perspective for you, $1 million, if you have it in $100 bills, weighs about 22 pounds. You could carry that in a knapsack. $1 trillion weighs 11,000 tons. That's more than the weight of the Eiffel Tower, one of the tallest buildings in the world. Now, how much do you think $211 trillion weighs in $100 bills? 38 million tons, about the weight of 104 Empire State Buildings, all in flimsy paper. And if you paid this off $1 billion a day at a time, it would take you 578 years to pay off that debt. But wait, it gets worse, much worse. Our government's spending money like it's water. We're wasting an estimated $10.5 billion a day. That's $3.8 trillion a year. And half of all of that money that our government spends is pure debt. They borrow half of what they spend every single day. But how's your government paying for these $1 trillion of debt? By asking the Federal Reserve to print more money. More monopoly money with absolutely no value. Our government is drowning in debt and it keeps borrowing like a heroin addict to pay it off. It's like paying off your credit cards with more credit cards. Now what happens when you keep paying off your debt with more debt? Eventually the bubble has to burst, and we're headed for the greatest currency collapse in world history. It's called hyperinflation. It's what ultimately toppled the Roman Empire. You see, inflation is when a country is printing more money than it's actually making, also known as fake money. When you do this, the value of the dollar is crippled, It's why in the 1950s you could buy penny candies and get a candy bar for a nickel, but today that same nickel doesn't buy you squat. It's the real reason why prices rise every single day. And hyperinflation is when inflation reaches unstoppable levels. The value of the dollar nosedives and prices skyrocket overnight. Just like what happened in Budapest in 1945 to 1946, where their prices for their goods and services doubled every 15 hours. Or Zimbabwe from 2007 to 2008, where their prices doubled every 25 hours. Or Yugoslavia in 92 to 94, where their prices doubled every 34 hours. Weimar Germany from 1922 to 23, their prices doubled every 3 days and 17 hours. In Bulgaria from 1996 to 97, in December 1996, $1 was equal to 300 lev. 3 months later, $1 was trading for 3,000 Bulgarian lev. To paraphrase quotes by one survivor of the Bulgarian currency collapse, the price of everything changed daily. Sometimes 2 to 3 times a day. Millions of angry, hungry people protested all over the country. It was a nightmare, like something from a movie, and everyone was involved. It was complete chaos. There was no government, no money, no economy, no work, no goods, no food, no nothing. Imagine for a moment what it would be like to wake up tomorrow and hear on the news, the dollar is crashing and stocks are plummeting, and there's no stopping it. In hours, every grocery store, mall, and pharmacy is ransacked by mobs, just like what happened during Hurricane Sandy. All gas stations are tapped dry. Public transportation, police, and hospitals come to a screeching halt. Your savings are gone. Your mortgage, unpayable. Your equity, gone. Cell phones and internet are shut down because no one can afford them. Companies and corporations collapse overnight. Power, water, and electricity systems break down nationwide. Credit cards are useless. Heat in your home, gone. Your car, an oversized paperweight. The only thing left to help you survive will be the rotting food in your fridge and the worthless bills in your wallet. And in the days ahead, people will starve. That's when the nightmare begins. History shows it's always the same. When poverty, fear, and hopelessness set in, chaos explodes. People panic, riot, and loot. Just like what happened in Greece, and also in Argentina just a few years ago. And that's when your government decides to take control by any means necessary. All funds are seized and martial law becomes the name of the game. Just like Argentina did when it seized control of the country to pay off its debts. Seem like too much to believe? Well, people thought a massive terror attack on U.S. soil could never happen. Or how about the housing bubble? That just wasn't possible. Or that major U.S. banks, those could never collapse. But guess what? They all happened. And this coming crisis has countless experts and evidence proving a massive collapse is on the rise. It's not a matter of if the dollar will collapse, it's just a matter of when. And we're not talking about years from now, we're talking about months. Our great nation is one mistake away from utter chaos and destruction. And if this seems really out there, look, I get it, I totally understand. But you have to look at the facts and see. It's only a matter of time until this house of cards collapses. And we're only a heartbeat away from financial Armageddon. Think of all the people, the companies, the industries worldwide who depend on the US dollar to survive. What happens when they all break down at the same time? The results will be catastrophic. There'll be no food, no water, no money, no power or gas. It's just you and your family alone forced to fight for your lives, and no one's coming to help you. But that's not something I want for you, and it's not something that I know you want for yourself. That's why you're watching this video presentation here right now. My name's Ollie Fisher, and I'm an undercover behind enemy lines news reporter. Now, I'm not a survival expert or some invincible tough guy. In fact, I'm not even really the outdoorsy type. I've spent most of my life working like a dog to support my family, and after years of traveling the world and witnessing countless tragedies from war-torn Bosnia to the rotting corpses in Hurricane Katrina, I've seen with my own eyes things that most Americans couldn't even bear to imagine. I've witnessed behind the scenes what happens in world conflicts, most of which I'm not even allowed to report on. Riots, mobs, killings, lootings, beatings, torture, rape, suicide, and violence. People don't realize how these things spread like an infection during a crisis. I was skeptical at first when I uncovered this coming collapse of our US dollar, but months after checking into the facts, the truth, it hit me like a ton of bricks and I felt a gut-wrenching panic. Traumatizing flashbacks raced through my mind and I had to do something to protect my family. And right away, I devoured everything I could to protect my family from the coming collapse. From online courses to full weekends at survivalist camps, you name it, I did it, I got it. After 2 years of hard work and research, I finally felt ready for the coming collapse, or so I thought. Then one day, a former Navy SEAL and close friend of mine came and stopped by for a visit. For fun, I decided I'd show him my survival plans. I walked him through my home, I showed him my food storage, my guns, and my gold, and then he looked me dead in the eye and he said, "What the hell are you doing, Ollie?" Now, if this were anybody else, I could care less, but this wasn't just anybody. My friend Bill's a counter-terror specialist with over 10 years in the Special Forces, and he trained me in safe international travel. So he'd been to every major hotspot in the world under the toughest conditions, and now he was glaring at me like I had just killed a man. He said, "Ollie, flat out, there are 1,001 reasons why your plans are complete BS and set you up to fail." And then he tore my plans to shreds. At that moment, I discovered that most so-called survival information was just peddled crap, even by so-called experts. From internet blogs by food storage moms or preppers who are ready for everything, including zombie attacks. These so-called experts who ran $1,000 training camps. Everything out there being taught could get you killed, period. And here's why. Most information, it isn't based on experience. It's often based on a wild imagination. And number two, most of what's taught takes just too much skill for the average person to really pull it off. You have to spend years of practice to make this stuff work for you. Trust me on this. And number three, crisis survival is not like a natural disaster or wilderness survival. It's not a manly camping trip or being lost in the woods for a few days. It is a total economic and social breakdown. And people become your greatest allies or your deadliest enemies. After spending months of grilling my friend and training with his best contacts, I finally started to turn things around. It became my goal. It became my obsession, and I didn't just stop there. I spent months hunting down and interviewing countless survivors of real-world disasters, and I'm proud to say I finally feel prepared to survive this coming collapse or any crisis. But then, something else hit me a few months back. No one else has this information. Good, hardworking Americans who suffer because of lies that are being told as survival information. I couldn't live with myself knowing that I had this information that could save lives of countless of my fellow Americans. It took a lot of convincing, but I worked out a deal with Bill to compile and offer all of his best kept secrets for surviving any type of major crisis. Together with his help, I've created what I believe to be the greatest collection of survival secrets. It's called Uncensored Survival Secrets: How to Thrive in the Coming Collapse. It's a complete 5-volume collection of everything that you need to thrive any type of coming crisis. It's based on years of experience, research, and proven techniques by real experts and survival of real world conflicts. It's the greatest collection of modern-day survival techniques known to man. And it doesn't matter if you're not outdoorsy like me, or if you live on a fixed budget, or if you're less than average of strength or health. Uncensored Survival Secrets is designed for every American patriot just like you. If you've got a pulse and can read grade 3 English, then Uncensored Survival Secrets is the best survival system you'll find anywhere. And it's the only material created to help anyone prepare fast to thrive in the crisis ahead. Here's just a taste of what you're going to discover inside this Power Pack course. Volume 1, Hoarding Survival Secrets: Why Everyone, and I mean everyone, gets emergency food storage wrong. Brownies and ready-to-eat meals could get you killed in a real-world dollar crisis. Did you know that mice and rats can chew through Rubbermaid containers in just minutes? Here's how you can make your food storage pest, rodent, earthquake, and flood-proof. What else besides food, water, and ammo you need to store for the coming crisis? In fact, just storing these items alone will help you live like a king during the collapse. We're to easily find gallons of water hiding right inside your home, and no, it's not your toilet or your tap. How to purify any kind of water into drinking water, even urine, with items that you can find around your house. A special $25 water filter you can make yourself that will give you weeks of purified water. This is a huge bartering item, so please buy as many of these as you can. And the information contained in this module is a $49 value. Volume 2, Extreme Survival Secrets: How to Create a Real Bug-Out Bag and Why It's More Critical Than Having Food Storage. What you need to protect your life should thieves loot your home. And it's not food, water, or guns. How to hide items from military that might come looking to confiscate your food and valuables to disperse amongst everybody else who's not prepared. A complete list of the most valuable items to barter and how to spot which ones are going to be best for you. How to stay safe and invisible during a riot. All major U.S. cities are surrounded by choke points that are designed to be blown out to isolate a city during a crisis. Here's how to get out of Dodge safely without anybody noticing. All of that information in Module 2 is a $97 value. Volume 3, Home and Perimeter Self-Defense Secrets. The only thing you can do to prevent a mob attack and why most so-called preppers are putting themselves at a major disadvantage here. The fastest and easiest way to turn your home, apartment, or room into a lockdown safe haven. 3 simple ways to make looters run away in fear or disgust from your home, something that no expert has told you about. Why people skills can mean life or death during this type of crisis, and how you can influence anyone into doing your bidding. Volume 3's information is a $49 value. Volume 4, Personal Defense Secrets. Now, it doesn't matter where you live, the country, the city, or by yourself or in an apartment. When a serious crisis strikes, stress escalates, and regular people start doing psychotic things. In Argentina, looting, rape, violence, torture ran wild across the country. Your chances of experiencing violence are 10 times greater in an economic breakdown or during a time of war. In this lesson, I will show you how to tell if someone is a looter and if they're not, and it's not what you think about reading people. The secrets to uncover if someone is set to attack you. Why thinking you can shoot looters at 300 yards from your house is pure nonsense, and the real truth about gun defense that experts haven't told you. How to easily defend yourself even if you're elderly, crippled, and barely have the strength to lift your arms. A bizarre mental exercise that anyone can use to avoid being ambushed by unknown attackers. 3 simple moves you can master in an hour or less that will allow you to take out linebacker-sized gang members. This technique was developed by a counter-terror agent to turn even a mild-mannered housewife into savage warriors in a matter of minutes. Plus, the undefeatable self-defense system that turns the tables against any attacker, by any attacker, in any situation, and even works on the people who teach it. This information in this volume is a $97 value. In Volume 5, The Mental Survival Secrets. One of the least talked about aspects of survival. You can have all of the gold, guns, and food in the world, but under stress, people crumble. These techniques I have personally used to keep a level head amidst total chaos, like how to quickly regain control of your body when it short circuits under stress. This is caused by an unknown psychological phenomenon that very few people are actually aware of. The Secret of One, a mental technique that you can use to stay calm and collected in mere seconds, even with a gun pointed at your head. Great for dealing with phobias too. The 3 Ps, developed by a Navy SEAL combat instructor. This simple technique helps you keep going even when all hope seems lost. Prisoners of World War II and also from Vietnam swear this is the one thing that kept them from dying. Why deep breathing is the last thing you want to do when you're in a panic, and the proper way to breathe to regain control over your mind and body in seconds. The blueprint exercise and why it's critical to practice even just once in your lifetime, or you're guaranteed to fail when the collapse attacks our country. The one item you need to help keep your sanity in any crisis. Almost every single survivor that I know has used one of these. This secret alone is worth more than all of the emergency preparedness books that you will ever see, and the information in Volume 5 has a $49 value. And this is only a small sampling of what you'll discover in Uncensored Survival Secrets. To get even 1/10 of the information that's in this course would cost you thousands of dollars. And there's really no way that you could gain this type of real-world experience without having gone through it and lived it like I did. Now, if you were to total all 5 volumes of Uncensored Survival Secrets together, without the bonuses I'm going to show you here in a minute, the total comes to $341. As a complete collection, all 5 volumes have a retail suggested value of $297. And that's a savings of $44 already, and it's worth every penny of that, in my opinion. But you won't have to invest $297 here today. More on that in a moment. To really help motivate you to get into this course today and start getting prepared, I'm also giving away 3 free bonuses to help you get prepared to the coming crisis even faster. Bonus number 1, 114 items that vanish hours into a crisis. Most people aren't even aware of how fast things disappear in emergency situations. You have seen the news where people die during Black Friday sales or get trampled to death over a Christmas toy. Now imagine hundreds of people tearing at each other over the last gallon of milk, where their lives are hanging in the balance. This life-saving list will help you prepare the items you need before the collapse happens and save you from a bloodbath of survival. This report is a $27 value. Today, it's yours free. Bonus 2, the Fast Action Family Prep Guide. It's a guide I wrote for my wife to help our kids prepare for any type of natural disaster or emergency. In this report, I'll show you how to get and win over even the most resistant family members without being too pushy. How to gently prepare your kids mentally to handle the emotions that they'll go through when dealing with a crisis. It's one thing to hoard food. It's an absolutely different thing to have to deal with the death of a loved one during a crisis or to have to leave your home. This important guide, I pray, will save not just your life, but also the hearts and minds of your children and those you love. This report is a $27 value. Today, it's yours free. And last but not least, bonus number 3, the Real World Emergency Preparedness Guide. According to FEMA, every person in America lives within 10 miles of a disaster zone. I couldn't just leave you unprepared for the rising natural disasters that are striking our country every year. In this guide, we'll cover everything that you need to survive earthquakes, floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, flash fires, biological outbreaks and chemical spills, nuclear meltdown and fallouts, and a host of other disasters. All this information in this bonus is a $67 value. Today, it's yours free. Plus, you'll get instant free access to our members area only site. You can meet, chat, and talk with countless people dedicated to prepare for the crisis coming ahead. I also offer expert tips and stories and strategies that you can use to thrive in comfort when the dollar collapses. You'll also get direct contact to me where I'll answer questions and update tips. As an added bonus, I'm also going to give away with this free updates to any future editions of Uncensored Survival Secrets. This treasury will be continually updated to give you the latest life-saving information that you and your loved ones need. By now you must be wondering, how much will all of this cost me? The Uncensored Survival Secrets total together is valued at $297 if it was sold by itself. And I'm more than happy to offer it at this price. At $297, this collection is a steal of a lifetime. Personally, I'd spend $297 just to get half of what I already know is covered in these volumes. That's $297 for $462 worth of valuable, life-saving information. $297 to protect your family and loved ones from thirst, starvation, and even death. That's more than anyone could hope for. Now, you could do all of this yourself. You could go out and contact hundreds of real-world survivors and experts. That's if they'll even talk to you. You can buy hundreds of books and courses. That's if you're even getting them from people who know what they talk about. And you can spend thousands in training with real-world specialists, assuming that they know what they're doing. And yes, it would take years to accomplish this. And even then, you might still not have the right information to survive this coming collapse. One small mistake could end your life and the lives of those that you love. This isn't what I want for you, so I'm going to make it really easy for you here right now. I'm offering a once-in-a-lifetime discount, and I'm doing this for several reasons. First, I believe it's my Christian and patriotic duty to help my fellow Americans. Second, the more people who have this information, the less starving, panicked people we'll have out there, and that's really just good news for everyone. And third, I really want the news of this course to spread. Now remember when I said I worked out a special deal with my friend Bill? Bill charges $1,500 per hour for consulting and is convinced Uncensored Survival Secrets would sell better to exclusive clientele at the full price of $297. But after weeks of begging and negotiating, I finally convinced Bill to test how well we would be able to sell this online. But if too many people come in and buy this right now, Bill's going to pull this off the market forever and you'll never see this special price offered again. You'll have to pay the full price just to have a chance to buy it. That means today you're getting the deepest discount to convince you to become a lifetime chartered member of Uncensored Survival Secrets. So you're not going to pay the full retail value of $297. In fact, you're not even going to pay half of that. You're not going to pay $147 or $97 or even $67. For a limited time, to convince you to try this today, you'll get the complete 5 volumes of Uncensored Survival Secrets plus $121 of free bonuses for one single payment of just $37. Now, if you're probably wondering why I don't offer this for free, well, I'm going to be straight with you. I'm preparing for my family and my friends and my community for this coming crisis. The more money that's in my hands, the better that I can help myself and the others before this collapse. Number 2, I spent thousands of dollars and years of my life to research and get this information compiled into this report to put it in your hands. It breaks my heart when I share this information with somebody for free and they just don't use it. The fact is, people seem to never really care about something until they've paid for it. Now, just to make sure that you take action right now, you'll also get my triple ironclad Patriots 60-day guarantee. Get instant access to uncensored survival secrets. Go through each book, enjoy all of the fascinating life-saving tips in this treasury, and if after 60 days you still don't feel that you're convinced that this is the best survival information that you've ever read, if you don't feel more confident in your ability to thrive in a crisis, or even if you don't like the pictures that I use in the books, just contact me and I will refund you every single penny that you spent, no questions asked. You've heard the story of our government scandal. You've seen the facts pointing towards our dollar's collapse. Now the choice is yours. You can either sit on your duff and do nothing, cross your fingers and hope that nothing will ever happen. And if you're right, well then we all win. But what if you're wrong? What if the dollar really does collapse? What will you do when your food and water runs out, when the government is left powerless to help you, when millions start rioting the streets and looters start creeping in the dead of the night to do what they want with you and your family? In a recent survey, people were asked if they would kill to get food to save their family. 83% of those polled answered yes. How many people do you think are prepared in your neighborhood for the coming collapse? Do you know what terror frozen in the eyes of your loved ones really looks like? I've seen it, and let me tell you, those images stay with you forever. Or option 2, you can join the countless experts that are calling Uncensored Survival Secrets the greatest life-saving compilation information known to man. Have the power, strength, and knowledge to handle any crisis. Be the leader in your community. Be a hero to your children. Have the strength to protect your family and your loved ones. Have the power to save lives. And most of all, relax, knowing that your loved ones are safe no matter what happens. Do you really want to be another victim of I told you so's? Take action now. Look below this video and click on the Add to Cart button to receive your limited discounted price. You'll get instant access to Uncensored Survival Secrets for a single payment of just $37, plus the $121 in free bonuses. And remember, you are covered by a triple ironclad 60-day 100% money-back special guarantee. Buy Uncensored Survival Secrets, go through every page, take in all of the amazing proven tips in each volume, and if after 60 days you're not convinced that these are the best survival secrets that you've ever seen, if you don't feel safer and stronger to thrive when the dollar collapses, or even if you just don't like the pictures we used, just contact me. I'll refund you every single penny you spent, no questions asked. Get this now with this amazing discount while you still can. Here's a quote of a Bosnian war survivor. "It was hell. I survived without electricity, gasoline, medical help, or any service of any kind. We had no army, no police. We only had armed groups, and those armed people protected their homes and their family. Hospitals turned into slaughterhouses. We removed all of the doors, the window frames, and flooring from abandoned houses and burned the furniture for heat. Many died from diseases, especially from the water. 2 from my own family. We drank mostly rainwater, ate pigeons, and even rats. Money soon became worthless, and we returned to an exchange. For a tin can of stewed meat, you could have a woman. It's hard to speak of, but it's true. Most of the women who sold themselves were just desperate mothers trying to feed their children. Arms, ammunition, candles, lighters, antibiotics, gasoline, batteries, and food. We fought for all of these things like animals. Men became monsters. It was disgusting." Now, this is an example from war, but I wanted to make something clear. Never in this man's life did he believe something like this could happen to him, but it did. And so will the collapse of our dollar. There is absolutely no question. The only decision that you have to make here is, what are you going to do now that you know of a coming collapse? The answer is clear. Just look below this video and click on the Add to Cart button to gain instant access to Uncensored Survival Secrets, how to survive the coming collapse, plus all 3 bonuses. You're also covered by a triple ironclad special 60-day 100% money-back guarantee. Get the Uncensored Survival Secrets plus all of the life-saving free bonuses. Go through each volume. Take in all of this real-world proven techniques inside and enjoy them with your loved ones and with your family. If after 60 days you're not convinced that this is the best treasury of survival secrets anywhere, if you don't feel safer about the coming collapse, or even if you just don't like my style of writing, contact me and you're going to get back every single penny, no questions asked, and I 100% guarantee that. So go ahead, take action now. This special will only be up for a short amount of time, and the government is not so thrilled that I'm exposing their dirty little secret, so there's no telling how long it will be until this offer disappears. So please, click on the Add to Cart button below this video right now and put yourself on the path that every proud American should be on to become strong, smart, independent, and prepared. Please make the right choice. Click on the Add to Cart button now to receive the best survival information in the world. Thank you for watching this special presentation, and I look forward to seeing you on the inside.